Kelly, you do a terrible job of reading minds.
Not your mind. When we're in like Spanish class and stuff like that, I'll look at somebody and I'll know what they're talking about, and then I'll say something later about it, and then they'll say, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, that was.
And like the other day, whenever I asked you if you were a car person, and you said yes. That's because I could tell.
I am a car person.
I
Okay.
could tell.
Okay, so Tanner, I will try to help you organize the color coding thing. Okay? I do black, but then I'm throwing in a different color, and you can choose whatever color you want.
See, I don't have a pen right now, so.
What do you have?
Hey.
You have that red. You have, what's that red thing?
Red thing?
What's the red?
Oh, that's marker.
Oh, no, don't use marker.
Hey, use marker. Highlighter.
Okay, no, put that away. And here, Kelly is sitting here going, hello. Okay.
I'm like,
there you
I
go.
too.
So if you've got a pen and a pencil, switch them out, okay? All right, so we're doing forms of percents. Forms of percents. Okay, here we go. I know y'all had this last year because this is what I just got through teaching the guys in 6th grade. Percents are percents. We're dealing with decimals. We're dealing with percents. We're dealing with fractions. We're dividing. We're dealing with all the fun stuff. Everyone loves. Okay.
They keep saying that what we're learning is easy because we're learning the exact. They're saying that we're learning the exact same thing.
Whatever. Ask them how their grades are. Okay.
Oh.
Forms of percents. We're going to be dealing with fractions. Percents compares a given number to 100 I'm just going to stop there. Compares a given number to 100. What? We got some notes. Okay. I'm just going to start. I'm going to just throw in an example. This is called a percent.
Really, I had no idea.
75 over 100.
Yeah, it's a fraction.
There's your fraction.
Does it always have to be 100?
Yep. Compares a given number to 100.
4 3/4.
With, just tell you, you're always going to be dealing with 100 when you're dealing with percents. Okay? Now, this is it in fraction form. You always reduce. We can divide the top and the bottom by 25. And we get 3 over 4. This is your fraction.
In lowest terms, right?
In lowest terms.
Oh, I didn't write that.
It doesn't matter. It's okay. If you want to, you can. You don't have to. All right. So, percent is what it looks like. If you need to put it into fraction, you just take it, put it over 100, and put it in lowest terms. Any questions so far? Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay. Now, let's say we want to put it in decimal form. All you do is divide the fraction. 3 divided by 4. Remember, the 4 goes on the outside. 4 can't go into 3, so I put in a decimal. And if I'm writing this, you are too.
That's funny that you say that the horse goes on the outside, because I saw a video the other day of this horse inside of a house, and that's the first thing that came to my too. I saw that too.
Okay, you need to send me that video because I tell people that all the time. The horse, and you know what? One of my 6th graders, literally, like this week, oh, that's what you mean by the horse. Never understood the cowboy and the horse. And I said, I had to draw a picture. Here's the cowboy. I put a hat on it, and then I put a tail and 4 legs on the denominator. And he goes, I get it now. So I need the video because everyone laughs at my cowboy and horse.
Well, no, the horse was inside the house.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm always, horse goes on the outside, so that's just funny. Never mind.
I gotta
All
find
right,
it.
4 goes into 30 7 times. Shh, I did not ask. All right. Okay, so the decimal form of 75% is 0.75.
Can I say something?
No.
Please. Decimal. Please.
What?
You don't have to do that.
I know.
If it's
all you do is you move the decimal 2 places to the left.
Right, if it's over 100 though.
No, you can, to take it into decimal, anytime you see a percent, you just move it 2 places to the left.
No. So
And any decimal, I'm going to teach you that.
What's the point of dividing them?
You still have to know how to do this.
I know.
Well, good. I'm glad you do. All right. So, no, I'm actually going to teach. Haven't I taught you that already?
Yes.
I did teach all that.
No, Coach Cole taught us it last year. And how come the 8th grader gets to do honors?
Because it's a high school level course.
What?
It's high school level course. So they have honors. Okay. Let's convert. Okay.
When are we packets?
Packets.
That show if we are in permission to. No, not those. Ones that we got on the first day. Like the things we got in 5th grade.
The heck are you talking about?
The packets that say Eagle Heights Christian Academy, in like bold, right? I'm trying to remember.
In bold. I tell you, you know what you're talking about? It says Eagle Heights Christian Academy in bold.
Probably.
Okay.
No, you're very vague with that.
I know.
The packets that say Eagle Heights
The ones
Christian
that
Academy
have
with
our
bold.
The ones that have our lunch schedule in them, and then they mark.
You mean the first day of school? Those-
No,
They marked what?
they mark. Then they marked if you have all A's in your stuff, and then if you got she knows. No. Yeah,
She does?
they're you get the grades on them. I forgot what they're called. Report card? Report card. No, not those. They're no, not those.
She said they're red. You said they're red?
No, she said they're bold.
Okay. It has okay.
You're
So let's
cracking
just-
me up.
Let's just explain this, okay? It has like a bold thing.
I'm just
It says
going to keep
Eagle Heights Christian
converting.
Academy,
Alright,
and like bold in the middle. Okay, so it's like
Does that have to do with math?
yes, it does. Very actually, never.
Let me pause the video because you are wasting time.
Cool. Tell me any of the emails he gets, unless it's like a bad grade.
All right.
My dad gets business grades.
We're going to convert a percent to a fraction, which we kind of already did.
My dad gets at least 100 emails a day.
Natalia, we're done talking. Step 1, you're going to put the number over 100. Just like we did right here. We put the percent over 100. Two, reduce fraction. Whoops.
I keep forgetting how to reduce.
We find a number that goes into them both equally and then divide.
See right here? It could be 5 and 5, you know,
Stuff like that.
25 and 25. The one on the test yesterday, that's why I gave half, because it was weird. And, you know, like this one, because it has a 5 in it and a 0, that, you know, if they're even, you know, it's 2. They both have zeros, it's 10 and 5. sometimes it's hard, and the one that was yesterday was a little hard, and so, okay, so for example, 88%. We're going to just put it over 100, and then we reduce. So we could, they're both even, so we could actually start with 2.
Can you do it by 4?
Or you could do it by 4.
I don't know.
I
was
do.
asking.
Huh? Yeah, if you want to do it by 4, you can. Italia? Shh. So let's do it by 4. So that would give you 22. And 100 divided by 4, kind of like quarters, give you 25. There you go. So you could do it by 2, but then if you did it by 2, let me just show y'all. That's right. If you divide it by 2, you would get 44 over 50.
So is there any wrong answer? But you would divide that by 2.
And then you'd have to divide it by 2 again because it's not in lowest terms. And that would give you 22 over 25. So this is lowest terms. No. That's lowest terms, but how you get there can be different ways. Yes, ma'am?
How do you know when you're at lowest terms?
That's hard. You've got, Italia, please stop yelling out. You have to keep looking at both numbers and trying to find a number that can go into both. Those divisibility rules do help, but like yesterday, nobody got it because it was not easy. You know what I'm saying? And the number that would go in the top and the bottom was 7, and no one knew it. And so sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you get, that's why I felt bad and I gave some credit, because sometimes you get to a number and it looks like it's in lowest terms, but it's not. Sometimes it's like 13 is what goes in the top and the bottom. Who's going to think of that? You know? So those are hard. If it's something like this, it's a little bit easier. All right. All right. This is something the 6th grade did not learn. So y'all learn similar stuff. Y'all just take it a step further. If you start with a mixed number, I'm still under converting a percent to a fraction. You're going to change
Yes, it was.
it to a decimal. Shh. First. Then take it out of percent. Do you have a question?
Yes. Would we, with a mixed number, would we make an improper fraction and then do it?
Oh, that would be ugly. No. Let me show you. Like, for example, what if I had 37.5%? That's right, 37.5%. Okay. First, what you need to do is change it to a decimal, then take it out of percent. So we're keeping it in percent form, but we're changing this part to a decimal. So a half, all you would have to do is divide 1 by 2, which is 0.5. So it would be 37.5%. Now, based, and that's another conversion. So I'm glad that y'all learned this last year. That's what I've been teaching the 6th grade. To take it out of percent. And there's other ways of doing it, but anyway, To take it out of percent, how many zeros are in 100? Move it over 2 spaces. And you get 0.375. What I know, I've been teaching this method already to the 6th grade. What place is that 5 in? Peter? Thousandths. 375 over 1,000. Then put it in lowest terms. Yeah. Take all the time you want.
This is this one. I got 75 over 200.
Keep going.
I did 15 over 40.
Keep going. I'm serious. Keep going. You're doing exactly how I would do it. Yeah.
At that point, I would have gone to the quarters.
I do it this way.
Now I have 3 over 8.
Perfect. Perfect. Doesn't matter which number you use, as long as you get this answer right here. The 6th graders crack up because all of them are, we all do it the same way. If it's even, we all start with 2. If it's 5 and 0, we all start with 5. And then just keep going from there. All right. Now, that's one way of dealing with a mixed number that's a percent. There is another way. You get to choose which one is your favorite. So I'm going to put a star by that one. Oh, that's a personal choice. That's literally a personal choice. I will tell you, if ever I have a class that prefers one way more than the other, but in this case, it is usually split. I have half that like it the other way, half like it this way. So this one is to change it to a decimal, then take it out of percent, and then go for it. I'm this person because to me, and that's just me, it's just easier to lump, what place, and reduce. This one, kind of like you had said earlier, you change to an improper fraction and then do it all. Okay, so this is a second way of doing it. Let's say 13 1/3%. Now, unlike this one, where, okay, we deal with halves all the time. You deal with it so often that you know it's 0.5. If you get this, and you're like, man, I don't know what the decimal form of it is. All you do is divide 1 by 3 if you were wanting to do this method. All right, so here, change to improper fraction. So 13 times 3 is what, Atalia? Plus 1. So then it would be 40 over 3. And just like with percents, we're dealing always with 100. We stick it we're going to divide it by 100. So we're going to divide that improper fraction by 100. 40 over 3 divided by 100 over 1.
I keep forgetting how we divide.
That's fine, but that's why we're doing this.
Isn't it KFC?
KCF.
KCF. You're thinking of the chicken.
KFC.
So we do KCF 40. Well, I prefer chicken too. Change to multiplication and flip the second fraction. Good. Does anyone have any questions yet? Now, can we do some cancellation? Okay, so what number can go into 40 and 100, Tanner?
10.
Okay, is there a bigger number that can go in there? Kelly?
20.
Let's try 20. 20 goes into 40 how many times? 2. Big old 2. And Natalia, 20 goes into 100? Very good. So then we multiply across. We get 2 over 15.
Where do we get the 15?
3 times 5.
Oh, yeah.
And then 2 times 1. That's a weird 5. Okay, so there are your two methods. Change, move, and then go about your business. Or this one, improper. I mean, really, there's not, either one's not bad.
I find this one easier.
I mean, it doesn't look bad.
Which one do you all like?
I can't say.
I mean,
I have a question.
I could do either one.
I have a question on the first one.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting how to convert fractions into decimals. Could we try doing that?
We're going to.
Okay.
We're going to. I'm about to do that right now. Okay. Does everyone have this?
Yes.
Okay. Now, converting percent to decimal. Here we go. Now, here's the deal. Converting percent to decimal. There's several methods to doing this. You could, and a lot of teachers teach this, I'm going to show you just one way. Okay? And I'm pretty sure Coach showed y'all both ways, but he stuck to what I'm about to show you. Because I have yet to find a student that goes with the other way. There's a bunch of dividing and stuff like that by 100. All you need to do is move the decimal 2 places to the left. That is it.
What about fractions to a decimal?
That's dividing. See, we did 3/4. We divided it and got our decimal. But percent, you're going to be dealing a lot with this. The 6th graders are on their 2nd chapter dealing with this, and they're finally starting to get it. It just blows their mind. And I'm like, guys, you got this. For example, I'm going to show you lots of examples. 8%. To change it to a decimal, we could divide this by 100, which is the other method. There's no reason to. Put in an imaginary decimal at the end. Imaginary decimal at the end. Because if you put it right here, that's not right. So put an imaginary decimal at the end. In 100, there's 2 places. There's 2 zeros, right? You're going to move this 2 places. Your decimal goes here. Stick a 0 in that little swoop there. Your answer is 0.08. That is way easier than dividing 8 by 100. So, Tanner, seriously, to get this, because with percents you're always dealing with 100, you would have to divide 8 by 100. Yeah. And you would have to do all that work. Or you can just move the decimal 2 places. Which do you prefer? Exactly. The only problem kids have, there's 2 things that throw kids off. One, they tend to forget which direction. Because when you're changing a decimal to a percent, or a percent to a decimal, they'll forget, when do I move it right? When do I move it left? Or I have kids that it's 8%. They want to tell me it's 0.8. It's 0.8. They just throw that out there. No, 0.8 is different than 0.08. And I get that all the time, every year. Yes, ma'am.
When do we move it to the right or the left?
Don't worry about that right now. So, for example, let's do some more. What if I have 5%? What would that be? Tanner?
0.05.
Okay, because look, we're going to move it 2 places and stick in that 0. Look at 50%. Kelly? All right, Joseph. You move it 2 places to the right, to the left, and you get 0.5 or 0.50, same thing. Whatever. Do you see the difference? All you do is move it 2 places.
So if you could get rid of the 0?
What about,
If it's on the left, on the right.
if it's on the right. What if I have 37.6%? Natalia, you want to try that?
0.376.
That's right. Even if there's but this is throwing people off all the time. 6th graders, I've been really pushing this with them because I want them to be really ready. If there's a decimal in your percent, but you're changing it out of percent, like you're wanting to get rid of this, my students always want to say, well, it's already a decimal, I'm done. I'll just take away the percent sign. No, you have to move it still 2 places to the left, and you get 0.376. So anytime, whether you have, like, what if it's 376%? Ooh, that's a good one. Kelly, what's that?
That is 3.76.
That's right. You put the decimal at the end, you move it 2 places to the left, and you get 3.76. So if there's no decimal, you stick it at the end, only move it 2 places because there's 2 zeros in 100. If there's already a decimal in the percent, you still move it 2 places. You can't just get rid of the percent and call it good. You still have to move it. Do y'all see these? That can get confusing, these 2 right here. I've seen this happen all the time.
I remember one time we had a decimal, like it was like 0.376%.
I don't doubt it.
And we had to put it over 2 times.
What about if it's 32 1/4%. And I want you to change it to a decimal. First thing we do is we have to change this into a decimal, right? Does anyone know the decimal of 1/4? I tell you. So we're going to do 32.25%. Y'all see what we're doing here? Now, just because I turn this into a decimal doesn't mean I've taken it out of percent. Tanner, what do I need to do now? To the left. 2 places to the left. So then my answer is 0.3225. Does that make sense? Now see, in 6th grade, they don't always take it to this level. That's what I'm saying. The 6th grade boys are like, oh yeah, we're learning the same stuff. No. They learned this, but in 7th grade, now we're going to be taking it up a notch.
That's what I told them. I said ours is just a little bit more, and like I said, like we were doing like the variables and all that.
Yeah, they don't even deal with variables.
Mason said, "Oh, those are easy."
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now let's learn how to convert a decimal to percent.
I put a dot to the right of my decimal.
I don't care what you do, man.
Okay.
And I'm going to do this. Back up here, different color. Because if you're having to look back at your notes, you want something to stand out. Oh, percent to decimal. And here, I'm going to do decimal to percent. Okay. I could tell you, kind of like what I did here, oh, you need to divide by 100 or multiply by 100. Or move the decimal 2 places to the right. Oh, and don't forget the percent sign. Okay, here is where people get confused. They'll be given like a decimal. Okay, change that to percent. Do I move it left or right? Do I move it left? People remember the 2 places because 2 zeros and 100. But what stumps people is, do I go left or do I go right? Do I go left or do I go right? And it happens. And it's just a lot of times when you're really stressing out over a test or something, you tend to forget. For example, see, there's so many other things that we should teach, but go left, go right. It's way easier. For example, if I have 2.4 and I want to turn that to a percent, I move the decimal 2 places to the right. 1, 2. And I stick a 0 in place of the loop. And I get 240%.
What if it stays a decimal?
Okay. For example, what if it's 0.256 and I want to change that to percent? I would move it 2 places to the right, put my little decimal in there, so it'd be 25.6%. Got it? That's not too bad. Oh, I got one. What if I have... Hold on. Ooh. What if I have... It says change a decimal to a percent. What if I just have... Oh, no, I don't like that one. No, that's stupid. Okay. Do y'all get this? Any questions? Okay. So, before I move on, we're going to pause